electromagnetic radiations means, okay, all the radiations which we know, okay, starting from X-rays to visible rays to infrared rays, these are known as electromagnetic radiations. Okay, so electromagnetic radiations, they are made up of two components. As the name suggests, they are made up of electric field and magnetic field, which oscillates in mutually perpendicular directions. Which oscillates in, okay, mutually perpendicular directions. Okay, so what are the characteristic features which are associated with a wave? Okay, so number one is here wavelength. Number one is here wavelength. We all know what is a wavelength. Yes, any one of you, what is a wavelength? If I ask you to draw a wave, if I ask you to draw a wave, yes, wave means it originates from a source and travels in space like this. So we'll draw in this way. If I ask you to draw a wave, you'll draw in this way. So these maxima are known as a crest and these minima are known as your trough. Okay, the wave has originated from this position. Okay, so what does the wavelength mean? What is a wavelength? Wavelength is the distance between two consecutive crests like this, or it is the distance between two consecutive trough like this. So this is known as a wavelength. So what is wavelength? The distance between two maxima or two minima is known as a wavelength. Okay. So how will you define a wavelength? The distance between two consecutive crest maxima or two consecutive trough minima is known as a wavelength. So it's a distance. So what will be the unit of wavelength? The unit of wavelength will be the unit of length. It will be the unit of length. For example, centimeter. Okay, smaller units, Armstrong. Okay, a nanometer, etc., etc. All it will have a unit of length. And 1 Armstrong is equal to how many centimeter, by the way? 1 Armstrong is equal to how many centimeter? Yes, we know this dimension. 1 Armstrong means it's 10 to the power minus 8 centimeter. 1 nanometer means nano, in. So 10 to the power minus 9 meter. And if you convert meter into centimeter, you have to multiply by 100. If you multiply this by 100, this will come out to be 10 to the power minus 7 centimeter. Right? So 1 Armstrong is equal to 10 to the power minus 8 centimeter. 1 nanometer means 10 to the power minus 9 meter. Meter, I know if I convert into centimeter, I need to multiply by 100. So 10 to the power minus 7 centimeter. Okay, so this is the concept of wavelength. Right? Okay, so what is wavelength? The distance between two consecutive crest or two consecutive trough. Okay. So second is, and wavelength is denoted by this lambda. So second is your frequency, is your frequency. What is the symbol of frequency? It's denoted by this alphabet mu. So what do you mean by frequency? Frequency is defined as the number of waves passing through a given point in 1 second. So what is frequency? Frequency is defined as the number of waves. It is defined as the number of waves passing through a given point in 1 second. Okay. So frequency is defined as the number of waves, okay, passing through a given point, in how many second? In 1 second. Okay, so what is the unit of frequency? The unit of frequency is cycles per second. Is cycles per second, or it is a hertz as well. Hertz. So you must have heard of this word hertz, radio frequency, FM frequency. It's expressed in hertz. Okay. Now, what is the relationship between these two? Wavelength and frequency. That is very, 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 very important. Okay. So remember, your wavelength into frequency is equal to velocity of electromagnetic radiation, or wavelength equals to C by mu. So very, very, very important relationship. Right? So what is the relationship between frequency and wavelength? Okay, they are inversely proportional. The product of frequency and wavelength is equal to the velocity. So
Sir,
velocity, yes.
so what is that? Through or passing through
uh,
a?
Passing through a point. Number of waves passing through a given point in 1 second. So say
Sir, you
if
won't do the recording.
it's on. Oh, don't worry, it's on. So suppose if 100 waves are passing through a given point in 1 second, the frequency will be 100. If 1,000 waves are passing through a given point in 1 second, the frequency will be 1,000. Okay. So frequency is defined as the number of waves passing through a given point in 1 second. Okay, and this is the relationship. Very important relationship. So you have to remember this relationship. Now C is a constant. The velocity of electromagnetic radiation is a constant. So these are inversely proportional. That means a wave having higher wavelength will have a lower frequency and vice versa. A wave having a lower wavelength will have a higher frequency and vice versa. Okay, so this is the relationship. Very important. Okay. So wavelength and frequency, the product of wavelength and frequency is equal to the velocity of light. Now, next important term out here will be discussing about here wave number. We'll be discussing about here wave number. We'll be discussing about your wave number. Number 3, we'll be
Sir,
discussing about your wave number. Okay,
sir,
so wave number is denoted by mu and there is a bar above it. It's known as a mu bar. Okay, frequency जैसा symbol है लेकिन ऊपर इसका bar है. It's known as a wave number. Okay, so what is wave number? Wave number mu bar is defined as the reciprocal of wavelength. So what is wave number? Wave number is defined as the reciprocal of wavelength. So what will be the unit of wave number? What will be the unit of wave number then? What is going to be the unit? So yes, it will be inverse of wavelength, centimeter inverse, nanometer inverse, etc., etc. Okay, so it will be the reciprocal of length. It will be the unit will be the reciprocal of that of length. Okay, and the other one is your amplitude. So you must have done this in your class 10 as well. What is amplitude? What is amplitude? You must have done in your class 10. It's there. Amplitude means the maximum displacement of a wave from its mean position. ये जो length है ना, the displacement is the mean position. The maximum displacement from the mean position is defined as the amplitude. It is defined as your amplitude. Okay. Okay. Now, how many types of electromagnetic radiations do we know? Yes, can you name some few electromagnetic radiations which we know? Yes, the very one with the help of which we can see the things around us is a part of an electromagnetic radiation. It's known as a visible light. Okay. So, and we have said that each electromagnetic radiation has a range of frequency or it has a range of wavelength. It has a range of frequency or a range of wavelength. Okay. So, if all the electromagnetic radiations are arranged in order of increasing wavelength, okay, then we get a series which is known as a electromagnetic spectrum. It's known as a electromagnetic spectrum. So have you heard of this word spectrum? Yes, we have heard of this word spectrum. So what is your electromagnetic spectrum? When the radiations are arranged in order of increasing wavelength. Okay. So the electromagnetic spectrum means the arrangement. It means the arrangement of what? Arrangement of all the electromagnetic radiations. Electromagnetic radiations. Okay. In order of in order of increasing wavelength. And how are wavelength and frequency related? Yes, just now what did we say? How are they related?
So inversely proportional.
Okay, so I can write increasing wavelength, or in terms of frequency, what can I write? If I write an increasing wavelength, in terms of frequency, what can I write? If the wavelength increases, what will happen to the frequency?
So it will decrease.
Decreases. Very good. Or decreasing frequency. Or decreasing frequency. Okay. So the arrangement of electromagnetic radiations, in order of increasing wavelength or decreasing frequency is known as a electromagnetic spectrum. So what are the electromagnetic spectrum which we know? Okay, so I'll teach you a very easy method. So you just remember this as C, G, X, U, V, I, M, R. So remember in this way. C, G, X, U, V, I, M, R. C, G, X, U, V, I, M, R. Okay. So now what does this stand for? What does C stand for? C stands for your cosmic rays. C stands for your cosmic rays. It stands for your cosmic rays. Then G stands for yes. G stands for what? We know G stands for your gamma rays. X stands for your X-rays. Obviously, it stands for your X-rays. U stands for your ultraviolet rays. V stands for your visible rays. What does I stand for? Yes. What does I stand for?
Ampere. The ampere.
Infrared. It stands for your infrared rays. M. What does M stand for? What does M stand for? Microwaves. And the most important of all, your R stands for your radio waves, which we can listen. Okay, so these are the types of electromagnetic radiations which surrounds us. These are the varieties of electromagnetic radiation which surrounds us. So these are known as the electromagnetic spectrum. Why? Because these rays has been arranged. They are arranged in order of increasing wavelength. So in order of wavelength, cosmic rays, which of these rays will have the maximum wavelength? Then they are arranged in order of increasing wavelength, right? So which will have the maximum wavelength and minimum wavelength? Yes, tell me. Which will have the maximum and minimum wavelength? Maximum wavelength will be that of radio waves, right? Radio waves, maximum wavelength. Okay, and minimum wavelength will be of cosmic rays. In terms of frequency, yes, in terms of frequency, ultra decreasing frequency means this cosmic rays will have maximum frequency, and radio waves, they are going to have minimum frequency. Got it? So spectrum का मतलब ही है the arrangement of radiations in order of increasing wavelength or decreasing frequency. Spectrum का मतलब ही यही है. Okay, the radiations are arranged in order of increasing wavelength or decreasing frequency. Now, out of all these radiations, okay, human eye can see only those radiation which falls under this visible rays. So, what is the range of visible radiation? What is the range? So, the range of visible rays, it falls from 350 nanometer to 750 nanometer. 350 nanometer to 750 nanometer. So we can see the human eye can see only those radiations whose wavelength lies within this region, 350 to 750 nanometer. So below, if the radiation wavelength is below 350, human eye cannot see it. If the radiation wavelength is above 750, we are not able to see it. Okay, so we are able to see only those radiations which falls within this region. And visible rays may, yes, again, the colors are arranged in order of increasing wavelength. So what is the visible spectrum? What is the visible spectrum? We all know that. क्या है visible spectrum? Vibgyor. 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 ना 7 colors. इसको हम लोग क्या बोलते हैं? Spectrum. Again, now you tell me, out of these 7 colors, which color has the maximum wavelength? Which color has the maximum wavelength?
Red.
Red. Now, yes, now we know it has the maximum wavelength or minimum frequency. And violet, it has the minimum wavelength or maximum frequency, like I say. Okay, so these radiations, visible spectrum, Vibgyor, the 7 colors, why are they known as Vibgyor? Why are they not known by any other name? Because these colors has their own wavelength. Each color has its own wavelength, right? And the arrangement of these 7 visible colors in order of increasing wavelength gives rise to a visible spectrum. Okay. Now till here it's fine. Is it understood till here?
Yes,
The
sir.
concept of electromagnetic radiation is understood? Okay, fine. Okay. So now you have to remember certain things out here, namely the relation, what is your wavelength, what is your wave number, what is your frequency, okay? What is the electromagnetic radiation, what is the relationship between your frequency, wavelength, and so on. Okay, some elementary ideas are required out here. Okay. So the concept of electromagnetic radiation is now understood. Okay, so please keep this in mind that each radiation has its own range of wavelength. Okay, it has its own range of wavelength, and the wavelength which our human eye can see is known as a visible. Okay. So I'll just give you a simple problem to start with. Okay, so yeah, yellow light, okay, yellow light emitted from a sodium lamp, emitted from a sodium lamp has a wavelength of lambda of 580 nanometer, has a wavelength of 580 nanometer. Calculate the frequency and wave number. Calculate the frequency and wave number. Chalo, do it on your own now. A simple problem. Then we'll move to the next topic. Chalo. So how are you going to do this? Yellow light emitted from a sodium lamp has a wavelength of 580 nanometer. Calculate the frequency and wave number. So here the unit is given in nanometer. Chalo, it's not a problem. So now how will you calculate the frequency? Chalo, give me the relationship. Just tell me the relationship. कौन सा relationship use करोगे?
Lambda equals to C by frequency.
By no.
What is the value of
Frequency.
C?
3 into 10 to the power 8
Unit?
meter per second.
तो किस में चेंज करोगे? Good, very good, very good. You're absolutely correct. Yes. चलो, फिर क्या करोगे? मीटर में रखोगे?
Yes, sir. So, and we'll convert that nanometer into meter.
Okay, you can do the reverse as well. मीटर को नैनोमीटर में भी convert कर सकते हैं. चलो, good, carry on. चलो. Now we know that lambda into mu equals to C. Okay, and we know the value of C as well. The value of C is known. C is 3 into 10 to the power 8 meter per second. Meter को नैनोमीटर में convert कर दो चलो. क्या रहा आंसर? So lambda का वैल्यू दिया है 580 nanometer into mu. C is equal to 3 into 10 to the power 8 meter. And 1 nanometer is equal to, yes, 10 to the power minus 9 meter. चलो nanometer में मैंने convert कर लिया. ठीक है? So mu equals to 3 into 10 to the power minus 1 divided by 580. ठीक है? Cycles per second और per second भी लिख सकते हो. Number of waves passing through a given point in 1 second. So कितना आएगा ये? Yes, calculate करो.
So 0.005 into 10 to the power minus 1.
हाँ ऐसे ही कुछ आएगा. Okay, and wave number तो we know it's a reciprocal of wavelength. Okay, wave number is the reciprocal of wavelength. Just answer आ जाएगा. Okay, so I'm not going into much discussion. Just velocity of light पता है. And meter को we have converted into nanometer. Okay, so 1 nanometer. Sorry sir, I think the conversion गलत किया हम लोग ने यहाँ पर. Conversion गलत किया शायद. So actually 1 meter equals to 10 to the power 1 nanometer equals to 10 to the power minus 9 meter, right? That would be 1 meter will be equal to 10 to the power minus 9 nanometer. ये होगा ना? 10 to the power 9 nanometer. ये होगा. So यहाँ पर तो तुम्हारा मीटर को नैनोमीटर में कन्वर्ट करोगे तो 10 to the power 9 होना चाहिए. ये नैनोमीटर. चलो अब हो गया. उल्टा किया हम लोगों ने. ठीक है? So 1 nanometer means 10 to the power minus 9 meter. That means 1 meter means 1 meter would be 10 to the power 9 nanometer. Okay? Chalo. So this is the conversion. Now, so someone had sent me a question a few days earlier. Okay, so it was related to a photoelectric effect. It was related to a photoelectric effect. Now see, why are we studying this photoelectric effect? Now, again, I told you there were some phenomena such as a black body radiation. There was some phenomena such as a photoelectric effect, which could not be explained by the wave character, right? Which could only be explained by the particle character. Okay, so let us see what is this photoelectric effect. So one such phenomena was here, photoelectric effect. So again, you will be doing this in details in your physics chapter, right? Photoelectric effect. Yes, what have you learned about this particular effect in your school? What have you learned about photoelectric effect? Just tell me, what do you know about photoelectric effect? Sure. So let us suppose we have no idea at all. Okay. So what do you mean by photoelectric effect is, now when light falls on the surface of certain metals, right? When light falls on the surface of certain metals, when light falls on the surface of certain metals, what happens? Here electrons are emitted, the electrons are ejected. The electrons are ejected. And these ejected electrons are known as photoelectrons. These are known as photoelectrons. And this effect is known as a photoelectric effect. Okay. So what is photoelectric effect? When light falls on the surface of certain metals, not all metals. When light falls on the surface of certain metals, electrons are emitted from the surface of metal, and the ejected electrons are known as the photoelectrons, and this effect is known as a photoelectric effect. Now what do we know? We know that your metals, yes, they are made up of atoms like this. They are made up of atoms. They are outermost electrons out here. So obviously this light, what will it do? This light will knock off this electron. So this light will knock off this electrons. And whenever electrons are ejected, what do we know? There will be a generation of electric current. Okay, so this effect is known as a photoelectric effect. Okay, so what were the observations which were made? What were the observations which were made? Okay, so the observations which were made, during this experiment was, number one, the kinetic energy of your electrons, kinetic energy of photoelectrons. Kinetic energy of photoelectrons were directly proportional to the frequency of light. Was directly proportional to the frequency of light. Number one observation was this. Okay, and number two, your kinetic energy of photoelectrons was independent. It was independent of intensity of light. It was independent of intensity of light. It was independent of the intensity of light. Okay. Whereas your photoelectric current was directly proportional to the intensity of light. So I'm going to explain all this, don't you worry. It's directly proportional to the intensity of light. Okay. Now, all these observations which were observed during the explanation, it could not be explained. It could not be explained by the wave theory. These all could not be explained by the wave theory. Okay. Now, just what I want you all to do is, if you plot this graphically, how does the graph look like? Number one. So do it graphically. So what am I going to do? I'm going to plot kinetic energy versus a frequency. Kinetic energy versus frequency. Okay. So yes, it will be these are directly proportional, so it will be a straight line. It does not pass through the origin. I'll explain it why. Why does it not pass through the origin? Okay. Yeah. If I plot kinetic energy versus intensity, so kinetic energy is independent of the intensity. Whatever may be the intensity, kinetic energy is not effective. So it will be a straight line parallel to the intensity axis. Okay. So kinetic energy of photoelectron was directly proportional to the frequency of light. Fine. Kinetic energy is independent of the intensity of light, whereas a photoelectric current is directly proportional to the intensity. What do you mean by intensity of light? So physics तो पढ़ा ही पढ़ा है. Yes. What do you mean by intensity of light? चलो जो पता है बता दो. Yes. Anything you know about intensity? What do you know about? What do you unit area? A number of waves passing through a unit area is known as the intensity of light. And we know whatever may be the intensity of light, the kinetic energy is quite independent of the intensity, whereas the photoelectric current is directly proportional to the intensity. Now this photoelectric current, remember, it is due to the electrons being ejected. Right? Since electrons are being ejected, there will be photoelectric current. So this photoelectric current will be higher if the number of electrons ejected will be higher. So in other words, we can say the number of electrons ejected is directly proportional to the intensity of light. And now I have told you, okay, these observations, it could not be explained by the wave theory. It could not be explained by the wave theory. Okay. So at this time, okay, at this very moment, so this was actually the golden era of science. Lots of simultaneous great scientists were working independently. Okay. So there was one such scientist whose name was Max Planck. Okay, whose name was Max Planck. Have you heard of this name, Max Planck? Huh? Have you heard it before? No, sir. Right? So just Google it, Max Planck. Okay, so he was the one who changed the entire outlook of physics. Right? After he gave this theory, after he gave his theory, the entire approach of physics changed. Okay, so before this theory, before he gave his theory, only the classical approach to physics was Newtonian theory. Newton ka theory, classical physics was there. But Max Planck, he changed the entire outlook of physics after he gave this epoch making theory
Max
known
Planck.
as a Planck's quantum theory. Is known as a Planck's
Constant.
quantum. Have you heard of this word quantum? So इसका नाम से मतलब बहुत मतलब famous institute है जर्मनी में Planck's Institute. So maybe you guys will go there in the near future to do your postdoc and all. It's in Germany. Okay, so it's a world famous institute, Planck, Max Planck Institute. Okay. Now, according to this theory, what did he say that? Number one, so let us go a little bit slowly, okay? So he said that, chalo, matlab, I've stopped here electromagnetic, this photoelectric effect, right? Okay, so where have I stopped? I gave you the observations, then I told you these observations cannot be explained by the wave theory, right? Okay? So at that very moment, Planck gave his theory known as a Planck's quantum theory. So according to this theory, okay, according to this theory, number one is the energy, your energy is emitted or absorbed. Okay, so energy is emitted or absorbed by a body. Okay, by a body. By a body. How? Discontinuously. Discontinuously in the form of small packets or bundles called quantum. Okay, and in case of light, each quantum is called a photon. So now we have heard of this term photon. What does it say now? What does it say? Let us see. Okay, so now if I ask you a very simple question, if I light a bulb in a room, the waves coming out of this bulb will reach our eye continuously or discontinuously? It will reach our eye continuously or discontinuously? मतलब थोड़े देर अंधेरा होगा फिर उजाला होगा, discontinuously आएगा. It will approach our eyes discontinuously. Light is a form of energy. So if I switch on a bulb, the light rays which comes out of that bulb, it reaches our eye continuously or discontinuously? Just tell me that.
Continuous.
Continuously, sun rays reaches our eye continuously. But what does Planck's quantum theory states? Number one point is energy is emitted or it is even observed discontinuously. Right? It is not observed or emitted continuously, but emitted or observed discontinuously in the form of small packets of energy called quantum. That means, according to Planck, the energy, the light which is coming from a bulb, it reaches our eye discontinuously like this. Okay, so there will be a gap like this. There will be a gap like this. There will be a gap like this now. And each bundle of energy, this bundle of energy is known as your quantum. And in case of light, this bundle of energy, these are known as a photon. So now you ask me one simple question. So do you have any question to ask me now? So now according to quantum, yes, ये जो bulb से light आ रहा है, ये discontinuously आ रहा है. Do you have any questions to ask? Do you have any question to ask? Chalo, you should have many questions to ask. Chalo, what is your what is coming to your mind? मैं बोल रहा हूँ light coming from this bulb, it is reaching our eye discontinuously.
Then, sir, how can we see the light all the time?
Yes, yes. One layman's question should be that as a layman, okay, as a student of science, my first question should be, so you are telling me it is reaching our eye discontinuously, but how come we see the light continuously? We don't see the light, मतलब थोड़ी देर अंधेरा तो नहीं हो रहा है, right? Now there is a limitation to a human eye. There is a limitation to a human eye. Okay, these lights, yes, it is coming discontinuously, but it is coming at such a fast rate. It is coming at such a fast rate that our human eye cannot segregate this discontinuity because there is a limitation. Okay, now I'll give you a simple example. Say, अच्छा मोबाइल फोन तो सब लोग देखते ही हो ना. I'll give you a simple example, okay? Discontinuously, but it is coming at such a fast rate that this discontinuity cannot be seen with the help of a human eye. Got it? So that's the explanation. But now we know energy, I've said energy. Energy means light energy, sound energy, heat energy, whatever energy. They are emitted or absorbed discontinuously. Okay? And this bundle of energy is known as a quantum. And in case of light, each quantum is known as a photon. Each quantum is known as a photon. Okay. Now, second. Okay. Now, second point. The energy of a photon depends upon the frequency. The energy of a photon, okay, depends upon the frequency, and it is related as it is directly proportional to the frequency. That means higher frequency of radiation means it has higher energy associated with it. Higher frequency means higher energy, lower frequency means lower energy. Okay. Now obviously if I remove this proportionality sign, what will come in? If I remove this proportionality sign, what will come? A constant will come, and that constant now is denoted by small h, and this h is known as a Planck's constant, right? It is known as a Planck's constant. So this is a quantum of light. E is equal to h mu. That is light. Okay, the energy of a quantum is equal to h mu, where h is a constant as a Planck's constant. Okay, and its value is 6.625 into 10 to the power minus 34 joule per second. So please note down the value, and you have to remember the value as well, right? Okay. Sorry, not per second. Sorry, I'm so sorry. Joule second. So the energy of a photon is directly proportional to the frequency, and they are related as E is equal to h mu. Okay. Fine. Now last is a body can emit or observe, okay, only one photon or some whole multiple of it. That means a body can emit or absorb only one photon or some whole multiple of it. So if you don't understand anything out here, please let me know. That means how much energy a body can emit or absorb. It can emit or absorb either one photon or some whole number multiple of it. That means E is equal to NH mu, where N is a whole number 1, 2, 3, 4, etc. Okay, so a body can emit say 1 h mu of energy, a body can emit 2 h mu of energy, a body can emit 3 h mu of energy. But do you think a body can emit 1.23 h mu of energy? Do you think a body can emit 1.23 h mu of energy? No. So what is the limitation out here? It states that a body can emit or observe either one quantum of energy or one photon or some multiple of it. That means a body can emit either 2 photon, 3 photon, 4 photon, not 4.5 photon, not 6.2 photon. Okay, so that means body can emit or absorb radiation only in whole number. So we say that the energy is quantized. So now a new term has been coined out here. Quantization. Quantization means, what does this quantization means? As a science student, you should know this, right? Quantization means only certain discrete values of energy are possible. Not all random values are possible. Only certain discrete values of energy are possible. How much values of energy? 1 h mu, 2 h mu, 3 h mu, 4 h mu, only whole number, not 4.2 h mu, not 2.6 h mu. Got it? So this is known as a quantization, means only certain discrete values of energies are possible. Now I'll give you a simple example again. So yahan tak theek hai? It's a new concept. So these are fundamental things. So energy is directly proportional to frequency, and we know frequency and wavelength are related. So energy is inversely proportional to the wavelength. Now, this photoelectric effect could later be explained by applying this Planck quantum theory. Okay. So Einstein was lucky enough, because at that time, yes, Planck gave his theory. So by applying his Planck quantum theory, now Einstein successfully explained the observations during a photoelectric effect. So Einstein successfully now explained the observations of a photoelectric effect by applying what? By applying a Planck quantum theory. Now let us see, how did he apply? What was the relationship? Okay, let us see all those. So till here it's okay, guys.
Yes, sir.
So today we learned a new concept. So according to this theory, कोई भी energy discontinuously आ रहा है. Okay, either any energy is reaching us discontinuously in the form of small packets. Okay. Okay. So now let us see how did Planck explain. Okay, so explanation of photoelectric effect. Now, again, I'm going to draw the same thing. So we have an atom out here. Atom के outermost shell में एक electron है. So we have light. So light. Now see, in order to eject this electron, ऐसे electron eject होगा? No. Okay, why not? Because this electron is attracted by the nucleus. So in order to eject this electron, some energy is required to overcome this force of attraction. Yes, the light must have sufficient energy so that it can pull this electron from the attraction of the nucleus. Okay, that means in order for a photoelectric effect, okay, the light must possess a minimum amount of energy, and this minimum amount of energy to be possessed is known as a threshold energy. Okay, so what is threshold energy? To cause photoelectric effect, the incident light must possess a minimum amount of energy. And that minimum amount of energy is known as a threshold energy. मान लो, if the threshold energy, if the energy is less than threshold energy, will it cause photoelectric effect? So मैं क्या बोल रहा हूँ? सुनो, ध्यान से सुनो. Okay, रट्टा मार के नहीं होगा. I'm saying that to cause ejection of electron, this light must possess a minimum amount of energy. Okay, so please mute your audio. Please mute your audio. Please mute your audio. Please mute your audio, all of you. Please mute your audio. Hello. Kindly mute your audio. Okay, so again, once more I'm telling you, देखो simple सा चीज है. To cause ejection of electron, the incident light must have a minimum amount of energy, which is known as a threshold energy. Okay, and threshold energy E naught equals to H mu naught. Mu naught is equal to threshold frequency. What is threshold frequency? The minimum frequency to be possessed to cause ejection of electrons. Now, if the energy of light is greater than the threshold energy, then only photoelectric effect will be observed. Okay. Now, out of the total energy H mu, what is the amount of energy required to eject the electron? The amount of energy required to eject the electron is E naught or H mu naught. But the energy is greater than H mu naught. So out of this energy E, this much is used to eject the electron. The remaining will be supplied to the electron in the form of its kinetic energy. Now, according to Max quantum theory, E is equal to H mu, E naught equals to H mu naught, kinetic energy. So if I rearrange, I see that kinetic energy is equal to H mu minus mu naught. H is a constant, mu naught is a constant. That means if I increase the frequency of light, the kinetic energy will also increase. So that was the observation of this photoelectric effect. Okay, the kinetic energy is directly proportional to the frequency. And each photon can eject only one electron. That means if I increase the intensity, if I increase the number of photons, the number of photoelectrons ejected will also increase and the photoelectric current will also increase. That was the other observation. That means the intensity is directly proportional to the photoelectric. So what was the third observation out here? The intensity is independent of the kinetic energy is independent of the intensity. Okay, so the kinetic energy is independent of the intensity because we know the kinetic energy, it depends upon the frequency, not upon the intensity. Whatever may be the intensity of light used, okay, the kinetic energy will be independent of the intensity. Okay, so this is all about your photoelectric effect. So very important as far as the school exams are concerned. So we must change the unit to SI unit. SI unit of length क्या है? What is the SI unit of length?
Meter.
Meter. So you convert Armstrong into meter now. So what is the relation? 1 Armstrong is equal to how much centimeter? 10 to the power minus 8 centimeter. And how will you convert centimeter into meter? How will you convert centimeter into meter? (100) centimeter equals to 1 meter, or 1 centimeter equals to 10 to the power minus 2 meter. You know? Okay, so in order to convert centimeter into meter, you have to multiply by 10 to the power minus 2. As soon as you multiply by 10 to the power minus 2, this will become meter. So 1 Armstrong equals to 10 to the power minus 10 meter. Right? It is equal to 10 to the power minus 10 meter. Fine. So what is the wavelength now? Wavelength equals to 4000 Armstrong. Means 4000 into 10 to the power minus 10 meter. So this will come out to be how much? 4 into 10 to the power minus 7 meter. 4 into 10 to the power minus 7 meter. Okay. Now the question says, what is the number of photons? What is the wavelength of photon? This much. What is the number of photons which has a wavelength of this that provides 1 joule of energy? Now what is the relationship between energy and your wavelength? E is equal to, let the number of photons be n. We don't know how many photons will provide 1 joule of energy. So E is equal to n h mu, but wavelength is given out here. So what do you write? E is equal to n h c by lambda. Fine. So I have to find out the value of number of photons. I don't know how many photons are there. So chalo, value डाल दो. What is the value of energy? 1. I don't know the number of photon. What is the value of this? H कितना था? 6.625 into 10 to the power minus 34 joule second. What is the velocity of light? 3 into 10 to the power 8 meter per second. Wavelength कितना दिया है? Wavelength 4 into 10 to the power minus 7 meter. Okay, so chalo, you find out the value of n. So I don't know the number of photons. I have assumed it to be n. So let n photons having a wavelength of this, okay, impart energy 1 joule. Like, okay, chalo simplify karo. So meter cancel, second inverse, second will get cancelled. चलो कितना आ रहा है n equals to, सिंप्लीफाई करो तो 4 into 10⁻⁷ होगा डिवाइडेड बाय 6.62 into 3, ये कितना आएगा 10⁻26, ऐसा आएगा ना. Okay, so this will come out to be 4.6 into 3 into 10⁻⁹ आएगा. ऐसा आएगा कुछ. Okay, now you solve this, you'll get the answer. Now, is this question understood? So this much number of photons, this many number of photons, sorry, it will be 10 to the power 19, not minus 19, it will be 10 to the power 19. So this many number of photons having a wavelength of this will provide 1 joule of energy. Okay. So now kindly go through the question answers which are given in your textbook. Okay, ये photoelectric effect का question answers कर लो, threshold energy ये सब दिया है. I'm sure you'll be able to do it. Okay, I'll be sending you some additional questions.
Sir,
So
number of photons have to be in whole number.
whole number तो होगा यार, तो ये है ना, कितना आ रहा है देखो तो 4 divided by 6.6 into 3 कितना आ रहा है
4.95.
4.95 आ रहा है. 4.95 कैसे आएगा? 4 divided by 6.6 नीचे into 3 भी है. हाँ, photons तो whole number आना चाहिए. n equals to तुम्हारा 4 by इसको 6.6 ही पकड़ो into 3 into 10 to the power 19 है. चल, I'll remove your doubt. कितना आ रहा है इसका बोल? फ्रैक्शन में आ रहा है तो कितना आ रहा है? तो चलो यूज ए कैलकुलेटर एंड टेल मी कितना आ रहा है.